Do I need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlin Clark? I mean, which one is it? Which one is it? Speak about how that makes you feel, about how you've just taken the world by storm because of your shooting prowess.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I think my teammates would say the same. My coaches would say the same. I think there's always room to improve, and I think
Steph Curry broke his silence, and his words hit harder than any three-pointer he's ever made. The NBA icon shocked the world by calling out the WNBA for failing Caitlin Clark. But this is more than just a statement. It could change everything for women's basketball. What exactly did Curry say, and why did it shake the sports world? Imagine being the brightest rising star in basketball, hitting shots that make jaws drop and carrying your team on your back, only to feel like the league that should be boosting you up is just watching from the sidelines. That's Caitlin Clark's reality. Night after night, she puts on a show that's nothing short of electric. Deep three-pointers from another zip code, passes that feel like they defy physics, buzzer beaters that send crowds into a frenzy. She's already cementing herself as one of the biggest names in women's basketball. But with the spotlight comes pushback, and for Clark, it's been relentless. On the court, things can get rough. Cheap fouls, overly physical play. It's like defenders are more focused on taking her out than actually playing the game. Opponents body her on drives, clip her on screens, and there's little to no protection coming from the referees or the league itself.
I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach. And
then she kind of steps off. It's her right groin. So it's her right groin here that gets hurt. All of this stuff. I think all of these things are factors. I think all of this is a factor for what's happening. I think all of this is a factor of why she's playing.
Fans started posting clips online. Moments of Clark brushing herself off after hard hits that clearly crossed the line, shaking her head in frustration. You could feel it. Everyone's asking, where's the response from the WNBA?
I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is what it is. And we've got to help her learn to adjust and use it against them in certain ways. But the level of physicality overall in our league has been at a different level than it's been for a long time.
But it never came. No investigation, no public words of support, nothing. Some fans began to whisper, was the league purposely staying quiet because Clark, a young sensation, was shaking up the old order? And then there's the media, which didn't make things any easier. Sure, there were headlines praising her talent, but mixed in were articles that seemed more interested in finding flaws. One outlet claimed she was too bold in her playing style. Another criticized her emotional reactions during games as unsportsmanlike. Seriously? The same tenacity that creates legends in the NBA was being used against her. It became impossible not to notice the contrast.
Do I need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlin Clark? I mean, which one is it? Which one is it?
I still have plenty time to grow before I go pro, and that's where I want to be. I want to reach.
Think of a superstar like Steph Curry. When he gets shoved on a drive or targeted by defenders, the league steps in. Fines, suspensions, there's a system that supports him. But for Caitlin Clark, it was crickets. You have to wonder what this all did to her mentally. She's dominating, but with every game, it's clear she's fighting battles both on and off the court. And as fans grew more frustrated with the silence, one question refused to go away. Would anyone powerful enough to shake things up step forward? Turns out someone would. And that someone was Steph Curry. When he finally spoke up, you could feel the shift across the entire sports world.
I think I'll just be the female version of Steph Curry.
I mean, you hear people talking about you and throwing out those comparisons.
Only being a sophomore, there's always room for growth, and I'll still have 2 more years here, so.
You'd think Steph Curry would just stick to what he does best, draining threes and rewriting the record books. But this time, he stepped into a whole other arena, and his words shook the foundation of women's basketball. Curry isn't just a great player. He's the greatest shooter in NBA history, a 4-time champion, and a guy whose every move is magnified by the spotlight. When he speaks, the sports world stops to listen. And what he had to say about Caitlin Clark? It was something nobody saw coming.
Speak about how that makes you feel, about how you've just taken the world by storm because of your shooting prowess.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I think my teammates would say the same. My coaches would say the same. I think there's always room to improve, and I think
Curry didn't just toss out a compliment or mention Clark in passing. He went straight at the WNBA, making it clear that their silence on the rough treatment Clark was facing wasn't acceptable. He called out the league's leadership, saying they had to step up and protect their star players, especially someone like Clark, who was doing more than anyone to bring attention and excitement to women's basketball. Curry's exact words were sharp. Caitlin deserves better.
yeah, I really feel like I'm still kind of in a dream, in a real world. I mean, it's kind of crazy, obviously. Those are the players I kind of grew up watching. Obviously, Steph Curry's kind of changed the game. You know, I still enjoy every single second of it for sure.
Do you feel right now you're the best player in women's college basketball?
And he's a player I grew up loving. I still love. I watch him all the time. So it's kind of crazy seeing all those NBA players, WNBA players tweet about you, talk about you. But
The league needs to realize what they have in her and do more to protect her greatness on the court. This wasn't just encouragement. It was a challenge directly aimed at the WNBA to reflect on their values. What's wild is how quickly other NBA stars joined him. LeBron James didn't just agree. He went as far as calling Clark a true game changer, praising the way she's redefining what's possible in women's basketball. Luka Doncic chimed in, calling her the best active women's player right now, which isn't something you hear often coming from a current NBA superstar. And then there was Trae Young, who even suggested a three-point contest between himself and Clark at the NBA All-Star Weekend. These weren't just casual shout-outs. This was genuine respect, acknowledging her as someone who's already standing shoulder to shoulder with the best. But not everyone was as enthusiastic. Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant notably steered clear of mentioning her. Tatum gave a vague answer about his favorite female players, not naming Clark, while Durant made a point to highlight Angel Reese instead. It showed the ripple effect Curry's comments had, not just in support, but in exposing who wasn't ready to embrace this moment. For Curry, this wasn't about starting drama. It was about fairness, spotlighting Clark's greatness and calling out the system that wasn't protecting her. And the message landed hard, sparking conversations across basketball. Steph Curry's defense of Caitlin Clark wasn't just a moment in sports. It was a shift. When he spoke, it forced the leagues, the fans, and the media to ask themselves why greatness like hers wasn't being protected. His words showed that ignoring talent like Caitlin's comes at a cost, especially when she's already reshaping the future of basketball. Caitlin's rise isn't just about stats or trophies. It's about shattering expectations, bringing in bigger audiences, and showing what happens when resilience meets undeniable skill. If Curry can spark that change with one statement, imagine the impact if everyone started paying attention.